Hey, honey.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, everybody. This is Retro Reviews, a review show where we go through mine, Fenn's copious collection of gaming books, magazines, other paraphernalia one at a time. And to keep me from rambling, we have Laura.
Hey everybody. So to do that task, I've got a list of questions.
All right, go ahead.
So what are we reviewing today?
Dragon Magazine number 303.
Hey, and this was one of the subscription ones?
Yes, it was.
Okay, do you want to give us a quick synopsis of what's inside?
So this is a gladiator-themed issue.
So are we in like ancient Rome?
Kind of. A lot of there's a bunch of different D&D cities that have like gladiator arenas and fighting pits and different stuff like that. It's always been part of the D&D kind of setting. Somewhere you'll find a place. It's like, yes, you have this fight in the gladiator pits. Mm-hmm. So it pops up every once in a while. My big major city on my homemade D&D world, Shan has the giant arena that the whole city is built around. Was heavily inspired by creating that city by watching the movie Gladiator. So it's like, yeah, a whole city. It's all based around like a gladiator fighting pit for adventurers. So when I got this issue, I was really excited. So the first article in it is Glory and Triumph. It's 17 pages of notes for creating a gladiator-style game, like a little mini source book. The next article is Blood and Fame. It's gladiator prestige classes. We get 3 classes that you can level up into to get like, special abilities and really focus on being a gladiator. The first one is the Invisible Blade, which is a knife fighter.
Is it invisible?
It's like you can't see the knife, so it's like he's fighting with knives and he's just able to get in sneak attack damage because he's getting in between the armor plates. He's attacking you where you're not expecting. Next one is the Occult Slayer. It's designed to fight and kill magic users. Then there's the Reaping Mauler, which is basically like a WWE steel cage Hell in a Cell type fighter that's just like really bloody and gory and just beat the heck out of its opponent.
Yeah.
Big muscly guy. Next article is Saying the Right Things. It's optional rules for social skills. Again, not really, like, every once in a while they'll throw something in that's not really like, that doesn't really match the rest of the theme of the issue, but it's something they had that was cool if they put in there.
Okay.
So it's also, the alternate rules talk about like using bluff instead of intimidation, so you're like trying to like lie through your teeth to like force somebody to do something you want. Using diplomacy skill for haggling to try to talk somebody down in price when buying stuff. Intimidate using rage or strength in place of charisma because you're basically just like, you'll do what I want. It's like, yes sir. Which I've always seen is kind of cool to be able to do because it's like charisma. Nobody really, like, not a lot of abilities in earlier editions of D&D really used charisma. So nobody ever had real high charismas. But you'd have a guy who's got like, you know, big muscly fighter that just won his like steel cage match in the arena. He wants to use his he wants to intimidate people. He don't have charisma. He's not charismatic. He's just intimidating.
Yeah.
So, and then sense motive, using that to study a person or population to discover like their political affiliation, what class they are, what level they are. Just kind of like read a person or read a room. Instead of just like, is this guy lying to me? So, next article, The Iron Path. It's martial arts styles for fantasy cultures. The elves have a longbow and a longsword style, so they get like two different styles that. They also got one that like lets them have whirlwind attack or keep concentrating while they're on spells while they're fighting. The drow get one for 2-weapon fighting and one for monks. Basically, it's just a bunch of signature like flashy fighting styles with special abilities that are themed around like the races and cultures of different from the different races from the player's handbook. There are a few monstrous races in there, but a cool thing is any of the feats they reference for those martial arts styles, because basically to get the mastery in the style, you have to train in different techniques represented by the feats. They reprinted all the ones that weren't in the player's handbook in the article, so you don't have to have all those other extra books in order to actually use all that information, which is really, really helpful.
Yeah, that's good.
The Undergroves, notes and rules for dangerous plant life in the Underdark. Basically, kind of like a lot of them are like different biotraps.
Little shop of horrors in a...
Well, just kind of like you're walking through like an area of the cave, and because it's there's a moss that grows, and you brush up against it, it will start to glow or stuff like that, and
you're like, oh, that's dangerous.
You're like, it's not dangerous, is it? It's like, that might be like alerting other people that somebody's messing around down here that shouldn't be down here.
Okay.
Next article, Academia Necromania. It's their Guild Secrets column. Every month they talk about a different organization. This one is about Evil Guild of Poison-Using Necromancers. So, not something a bunch of players would probably want to work with, but definitely something like to use as a big bad evil organization across the world. And they keep finding members of this necromantic poison-using group. And they keep finding like clues, and they're trying to track them down because they're like manipulating the big plot behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Next is the Silicon Sorcery column for this month. Again, they're going back to the game Neverwinter Nights, talking about the lost horrors of Neverwinter Nights, such as the Skeletal Intellect Devourer. It's an undead. The Intellect Devourer is like a parasite that gets inside somebody's head,
Creepy.
eats their brain, and then absorbs all their memories, and then can puppeteer their body. The skeletal one can take over and puppet master like dead things. So there's a dead body on the battlefield, it can crawl inside of it, eat its brain, and then
Like zombify it?
yeah, weekend at Bernie's that thing. There's the Battle Intellect Devourer, uses spies more for combat than psionic powers, because the Intellect Devourer has psychic mind powers because it's a brain-eating thing. There's the Creator Race, the Old Ones of the Forgotten Realms. They're humanoid dragons with magical powers, so basically instead of being like H.P. Lovecraft elder things, they're like pods with tentacles. The ancient race that existed before elves and humanity and everything were like dragon people. Lizard people, as Hecklefish would say.
Right.
There's the Spirit of the Woods. It's basically the very life force of nature can take over the body of an animal to do its bidding, to do something for the force of the spirit of the nature, to like can incorporate itself into like a moose and start defending the swamp from things. Basically, I haven't shown you Princess Mononoke yet, but yeah, they had basically hogs that were being possessed by the corrupted spirit of the woods to attack the villagers who were stripping the forest and mining it for iron. So.
I mean, you needed to protect the forest.
Then we go into the Wizard's Workshop. These are a collection of articles helping DMs be better, as well as helping players to be better. So the first, and to get more enjoyment out of the game. First one is talking about plot hooks, how to build better plot hooks, avoiding the cliche ones like wanted posters, you've been captured, finding random treasure maps, and a cloaked figure approaches you at your table in the tavern. And of course the infamous, like, you're sitting in a bar, and usually it's never a cloaked person that comes over, it's always some big important NPC, or, and this is a personal note, like the last couple of adventures that both Josh and Tanya have run have all started with what's called a King's Call, where basically you've been summoned by the king and he has a mission for you to go on to. I'm like, come on. I like to do the one where it's like, okay, everybody knows everybody. We're going to start with a fight. Like, you're here, you're on it, like, you all know each other. You've all been working together for a while. You've got a simple little easy mission, and you get jumped by bandits, or you're just got done a big fight, and then something shows up, or you're camping in the middle of the night, and you get attacked. I like the whole thing of, like, everybody knows each other, there's a fight starting, and you got to figure everything out from there.
Okay.
That's my personal go-to. So they also make notes that good plot hooks need to have a PC agenda. So the players got to have the player characters have to have, like, something that's in it for them.
Yeah.
It's got to have a problem to solve, and used as a setup for the next part of the story. So they should link all together.
Yeah.
Next article is about creating unique NPCs, how to make an NPC sound different, sound and look different, they use a system of what I call marks and traits, such as auditory, the tone of their voice, their dictation, the cadence of their voice, their word choice, all can make somebody an interesting, their body language, and like any like facial or body or verbal tics they have. And then, scars, tattoo, their gear, what do they look like can make them stand out. The next one article in that section of Wizard Workshop is negotiating with your DM. It talks about the different types of DM and how to talk to them about being able to meet all the expectations of the players. So you got like the narrative-focused DM, where if you come up with a really great idea of like, well, the story seems like this is the kind of story I want to have for my character. You can give that little story notes to the DM, and they can be like, oh yeah, no, I can work that in. They can figure out like what they want to do for adventures from that point. If you got like the Monty Hall DM that just loves to give out treasure like crazy, and you're like, oh, dude, no, I don't want to just like murder hobo my way through mega dungeons and collect treasure. Like, what's the point of all of this if we're just collecting treasure? Kind of thing. It's like, find out what's your DM's style, and then be like, hey, I know you like to do this, but can we do this? And how can we tie it together so everybody's having a good time?
Yeah.
Last article in the magazine is the Sage Advice. It's the monthly FAQ column. This month they're doing a grab bag. Cool stuff that I saw in there was a table for making dragon armor based on the size of the dragon, to figure out what types of armor and the sizes you can make out of that. So based on how big the dragon is, depends on like if you've got enough scales to actually make like a plate mail armor. Or if you're just
so is this armor made out of like dragon hide, or is it armor for the dragon?
It's how to skin, when you skin the dragon and collect its hide, what types and sizes of different armor can you make from that dragon based off of how big the dragon is. Yeah, it's only usually ever done with evil dragons.
Okay, so that's great.
Yeah.
Because some dragons are cool.
But if it's an evil red dragon that's been attacking and burning the village, and somebody actually takes it out and kills it, red dragon armor is really good magical armor that can protect you from fire.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, which of these articles are you planning to keep?
I think I would like to do I would love to do a gladiator themed adventure I've had this idea in my head of ever since we reviewed the Complete Warriors Handbook from 2nd edition D&D, where they had the wrestler subtype for fighters. I've been like wanting to do some more like, okay, you're traveling around the countryside and you're fighting all these different fights, trying to work your way up to be like king wrestler of the nation, the world. And a lot of those are probably going to happen in gladiator fight pits. So the first 2 articles about the notes for creating the style of game and the prestige classes, those ones I definitely want to keep. And the optional social rules for D&D, I've used those for a while, so I've broadened out the use of how bluff works and intimidate and everything like that. So I'm like, ever since I got the magazine, I've been doing like, you can use strength for intimidate. You can, if you're raging, your rage will give a bonus to your intimidate type thing. And sense motive, I'm like, no, it's not used just as a BS meter. You can just try to like get a read of this person. So,
right.
And diplomacy, use that for haggling. The original like diplomacy rules, I've never been a fan of, where it's like, it's more like befriending the other thing, and it becomes this whole like complicated mess of like, I'm going to use diplomacy and make this person my friend and have them do everything that I want them to do. It's like, no. It's like, but I rolled like rolled a 30 on my diplomacy check. It's like, this skill breaks the game. Using it more as a whole thing of like trying to get favors out of people or using it to bribe or haggle is like so much better.
Okay, well, that's all my questions.
I think I asked this before, but when we were talking about the warrior, the wrestling game with Complete Warrior, but I'll throw that question back out again. I need some NPC like gladiator names, like so and so the Destroyer, Skull Crusher. Put those down in the comments section below, and give me some really cool like gladiator wrestler names for D&D. All right.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for staying till the end of the episode. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook at Board Barista Productions. And if you want to support us, Patreon link at the bottom.